Hello everyone, welcome to Polytopia. This video is gonna be about the new change that they've done to the construction tech and the Basi, which is the main tribe that uses that. And okay, I do say new. The Path of the Ocean update has been out for uh, a week or so, or even two at this point. But I'm just now making this video. But this is like one of the first games I started after the update came out, and I think it's a very interesting game with the new changes. Now, I think in short, the deal with construction and it hasn't properly loaded yet, but I think in short the deal with construction and these new changes, I'm not sure if construction is that much better. I guess if you didn't know, in short to explain, chivalry and construction, they both give you like one particular thing, right? Chivalry mainly gives you knights, and construction gives you the windmill. They, they do give another thing though, and they just swapped what is the secondary thing that they each give you. So construction used to give the destroy ability, right, destroying any building. Meanwhile, chivalry used to give the burn forest ability, turning a forest into a crop, right? Theoretically, feel-wise, obviously it makes sense for this ability to be like the way they were before, but gameplay-wise, swapping these two actually makes it very useful because construction, obviously, the main thing it provides is the windmill, which is the um, production structure regarding farms. So the destroy forest ability makes a lot of sense to be with in the construction tech, just gameplay wise. And yeah, that's why obviously I actually do really like the change. But anyway, I do really like that as a change, but I'm not sure if construction is that much better because the thing is, burn forest used to be 2 stars, right? Turning the forest into a farm, that used to be 2 stars. And now that they moved it to construction, they made it 5. I honestly am not sure if I like that because honestly, construction already is like, the worst of the three like production techs, and the main reason is because it doesn't give you a unit. Both of these techs, like the mathematics gives you catapults, which like obviously like they give you a unit, and for symmetry gives you swordsman. And like with both mathematics and swordsman, the unit often is like probably even more important than the actual production building. And then there's construction, which literally just gives you the windmill, and the windmill just if you just evaluate like in terms of the production houses, the windmill probably, or at least I guess the windmill probably was the worst of the three, like just naturally so. With the fact that this provides you the burn forest ability, it probably the windmill is probably on par with something like the sawmill, but I still feel like it overall, like you can only use this late game because it's now very expensive. I feel like the windmill would have been on par with the sawmill if they didn't actually make Burn Forest 5 stars, because it's at 5 stars it's just so expensive, you're really only ever gonna use it in the late game. And that's kind of my gripe with this change. I think I used the Burn Forest ability maybe once in this game, and I'm not sure if it really was that useful. Like, I'm not sure if it was worth in the situation I used it. I'm not sure if it was worth. The change in the new update that actually ended up being important in this game is more the trade houses. I'm gonna explain that later. I think it's due that I actually do play the game. So anyway, I'm Zebasi against an Imperius. This Imperius is like a decent player, okay? Right. Um, Obviously now, okay, this just happens on turn one. I'm not sure if I should have like the I'm not sure exactly how if I should have this with fog on or without fog. I typically, hang on, it's here. I typically tend to look at games without fog on. I can usually tell where each player can actually has vision to. So I think I'll do that. I think that just makes like, to me at least, that makes the game, like the replay is just rather more interesting. So anyway, I mean, this is just a Giants. This is just a general Giants map. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna comment. I think I'll probably skip a little bit. This is just a general Dryness map. I don't think, like, honestly, anyone has a particular advantage here. Dryness map. Dryness maps tend to be generated pretty fairly. This one actually, yeah, it's a somewhat fairly generated Dryness map. We just select display. So we took hunting because that. I don't honestly remember exactly, like, not gonna be able to call. Obviously, upgrades the capital for the second time. I don't remember at this point exactly what was going on in my head, like for each decision and stuff. Um, but I mean, yeah, Imperius actually goes for farming themselves, obviously. Anyway, I think we'll skip a little bit. So I take riding here. Um, we meet Imperius here. I take construction right. I end up rushing construction on turn 6, which again, actually do keep in mind, this is like very soon after the update, and like my strategy here, I would call this actually very experimental. In fact, I took construction on this turn from the start of meeting Imperius. I actually didn't realize like they had actually expanded like a little bit further on the map than I had anticipated, and like a few turns later, I ended up like regretting taking construction until a few turns after that, which is when like construction really started to pay off. So anyway, I'm actually surprised. I have not looked at this recording that much in depth. I am actually surprised that Imperius actually took riding after me. But yeah, I think they took riding and then I've chained one rider. But in the early game, I definitely at some point thought that I should have, instead of taking construction, to just train some units. Because this Imperius right now, if you look at just the way the map is structured and like the way their units are positioned, like they're just gonna be able to like expand like to so much more of the map than me over here. Just because this village kind of is forward and this war is just teamed up on mine. This Imperius did not take a single explorer. This Imperius has not taken did not take one single explorer in any of their villages. Okay, I guess let's stand the replay for a little bit. They did not take a single explorer in any of their cities. I'm thinking that's kind of the reason why they still haven't gotten this village right now. At this point, it's clear that there's a village here. And they should probably be cleared this village here, but like, that's kind of the reason why like uh, yeah, they're also kind of expanding efficiently with the fog. I usually like to take explorers like in cities that I'm not sure in where I ended up taking an explorer. Actually, I didn't take an explorer either because I didn't really have a good village for it. No, I think I'll take an explorer over here right now. But yeah, this Imperius, like until the rest of the game, like they did not take a single explorer in any of the villages. Even like when they were at the point of making like 30 stars a turn, and like you can really afford to like get make one less star per turn just to like get vision on your opponent, right? That's probably more important at this point. He did not. They just kept getting workshops, so that's one useful thing. They did not really have vision on me at all. They had no clue what I was doing back in my, territory. I take an explorer here. Thankfully, I do. Decided that this explorer could have actually gone down, I'm pretty sure, and like current vision here that would have been kind of ass, but thankfully just go upwards towards them. This is a turn when I take this explorer, is the turn I realize that this Imperius is like a decent bit ahead of me at this point. I mean, in terms of villages, they're still okay, but they're really about to capture these two, and they're about to capture this one, and I would not be able to contest this village whatsoever, right? And from here, they have a serious chance of just like, just fighting for the villages all the way down here, like cutting me off these. And like, this is potentially very detrimental, right? That is what I'm trying to get at. Potentially could be a really bad position. Oh yeah, they also got a veteran settlement out of this ruin here. And yeah, that veteran settlement is a big pain in the early game. Pretty big pain in the early game. Like, honestly, if this rider, instead of capturing this village, just like got off and just like, smacked this guy and then just went back, like that would have been a lot worse for me, honestly. Like, thankfully he did not have vision to do that, but man, I think this is around where I actually start making some construction plays though. And maybe not this turn, but it's the next turn. Oh yeah, I got stars. I think that's what allows me to go for some construction. No, no. Anyway, I think this is what allows me to go for construction with 10 extra stars from that. So upgrade this. Now, when I upgrade my things, then this is the first windmill. I do actually think I offer on this game at least one good thing for me. I have just generally just really good like windmill positions, like just generally really good ones. So yeah, like I literally just like got these farms here anyway, just to upgrade my cities anyway, and then there just naturally happens to be like a third tier like windmill spot, which just allows me to upgrade this village for free. So that's actually really good. And this is a farm. This ended up being a little bit awkward, but what I ended up doing was I got an extra farm because I wanted to put a windmill here, and that was able to like upgrade my capital. Um, right, I thought that I could go for a giant this turn. Now, ended up being awkward. I wish I had in the early game. In the early game, I upgraded this city with two animals. I wish I had actually upgraded it with the farm because then I literally would have needed done this. Right? I wouldn't have needed to waste these 5 stars on this windmill here in order to upgrade this village. Like, well, I wouldn't have needed stars on both the farm. I wouldn't have needed to waste stars on both the farm and the windmill in order to upgrade the village. Right? I could have just not done that. And yeah, I see that I need this farm though in order to put a third tier windmill here and also take population growth and also 5 stars for a farm. That's just a 10-star giant, which I think is worth. And it's turn 11. It's definitely time to get it. Plus, these guys, what Epirus is doing is, I mean, they're obviously like doing well and just contesting me for the rest of the map. They're actually just like starting to pile up a train and pile up a bunch of riders here. They're planning to rush me, so that is my that is my hope to actually get out of this position to just get a giant and show it to them. Like, so that's the long story short. Like, I end up making use of this windmill that I had to place here for 5 extra stars. Anyway, so I take my stars back and I float a bunch of population. I kind of couldn't do anything about that, so I train a bunch of warriors. It's weird that they decided to first train the units. Once I didn't see that first, but no. Right, put the windmill and take. I don't know, I'm pausing so much. I already explained exactly what I'm doing. I'm getting a giant here. And right, that's the giant on turn 11, which is not horrible. Now, and the thing I ended up doing, what I ended up doing was I saw that I need one more population. I obviously have the Park of Fortune from getting the city to level 5, so I have that, and I need one more population to actually just get another giant here, and this giant's literally just next to him. And I was planning on organization, but a lot of things actually needed me to take roads. Well, it was mainly this guy. He actually did come here. He hit this, and yeah, go to this village. And I actually need to. If I let him capture this village, I'm probably gonna lose this game. So I needed to get here. And he's still just eliminating warriors that just go on the mountain. And stuff. But this is probably like the most important turn here. This rider obviously doesn't reach. I over here need to take roads. This forces me. I first of all need to get him off this village, otherwise I'm probably going to lose the game. And so I need roads in order to get this guy to reach here. And at the same time, roads, even though they're way more expensive than just getting the fruit here, the roads will actually allow me to get this one extra population, because I'm gonna just roll the capital with this city. That will actually allow me to get the one extra population I need to upgrade the city, and that also lets this giant to just go forward way quicker. So and I really have like an exact amount of stars to do that. 28 is like basically the exact amount of stars I need to do all of this, and because of that I'm not even able to actually train other units this turn. But yeah, I kind of have to do that, so that's honestly a bit scary too. I trained there, right? A road. Move this giant here next to this mountain to finally force this freaking swordsman here that has just been pulling my warriors for like the last 20 turns here. Finally force that guy off, and then right, road and put the Park Fortune, and we get another giant. And yeah, that this one's literally next to him. And now we also do, and like we do actually end this tournament really well because we actually also have roads now, which is something I also was like separately trying to wanting to get for the longest time. And yeah, this is like the turning point in the game because honestly, up to now, like Imperius is overall bullying me. Like they will by the end of the game actually get like one more village than me because I mean just the way the map's generated, but yeah, also them expanding a little bit more efficiently outwards. And yeah, like they were just planning up units here until they could like properly attack me with the swordsman. But yeah, this is the turning point. Just slammed two giants next to the territories, and yeah, now I did do it, end up being able to like smack there, but thankfully didn't. I'm gonna get that village right. Okay, my opponent makes a goofy play here, but trust me, like they're overall were pretty competent this game. Okay, I end up getting forest job on this turn, which is useful. I thought I had like burned forest, burned a forest once. No, I had not actually burned a single forest in this game, and that's gonna be how it really ends. The burned forest wasn't useful. But anyway, so we rode this giant over to this mountain, which yeah, conveniently he leaves that open for me. Probably shouldn't have done that. This is just, yeah, I now get this giant to, like, reinforce my position here on this mountain and get this freaking veteran swordsman out. And this giant just attacks and it's just like, well, see what Empire is gonna do now. It does end up doing some things. So first of all, right, they still get to this part of the map. At this point, both of us do have like our, kill the monuments at this point and stuff. So, yeah, he had some pushing in this village. Um, Yeah, 43 stars. I also have a lot of stars at this point, right? Because I'm, yeah, get good population out of the ruin, because that was very useful. Yeah, they also really blundered quite a like they weren't really seeing like what I was able to do with the road, so they really just let a bunch of riders die. And I actually think I was winning at this point because I was scouting. They did actually have the riders to unsiege to unsiege the giant, to just kill it. Um, yeah, I did have it, but they just killed two, and this guy is actually blocking a bunch from coming here either as well. So and they did have the riders, but now that they killed them, like killed two of them, they actually don't. So I thought I was winning here. Like, I honestly, on this turn, I actually thought the game was over. I thought the game was basically over. Now, Imperius does have 30 stars, so obviously what they ended up being able to do is just they take mining. I don't know why they didn't do they didn't just do that immediately and instead of going for construction. But they just end up being able to push. Like, not really even that difficult. They should have just really taken mining in the first place, because also clearly the village are gonna attack first. And yeah, so they pushed, and they're okay from this position probably. I did basically just like have this giant die, like it forcing him to just like smack a bunch of riders into it. I think he still like took down like 5 riders. Decided that was what I was going for, right? Also, yeah, at this point, I did end up completely managing to block like Imperius off of this last village here, so Imperius overall is still like where I'm now gonna skip the game I think a little bit. Oh no, this is okay, this is where I do this. Now, this game from this point on is gonna transition to the late game, right? Like we both explained the rest of the map. This is just like this is just gonna be like the way we're stalemating. Now over here, we still have very little units and they're still pushing into each other, but we're clearly gonna stalemate even here as well. So we're pushing into the late game, and this Imperius does actually have one. First of all, they've already captured all of them. I'm still just about to capture the last two. And yeah, this Imperius, if you count them, I think they have 13 to 12, or was it 11 to 10 or something like that? I don't remember. This Imperius does have one more village than me, so they're technically ahead, right? But I don't have 60 stars, and now what I ended up being able to do here is with these 60 stars. Now that is something I was like looking at even before that, because obviously I do have these two windmills, because I mean obviously just like the way these farms ended up being together, right? I would put the windmills together as well to take advantage of them. But I ended up just having two windmills, like two tier 3 windmills, like exactly together next to each other. And so what I'm able to do here, I guess yeah, first of all, I don't have this smacking this giant there. I went trading. Now, if you don't know, trading is another tech they had actually just completely reworked the naval update, and they had reworked them into like being something like the way markets used to work is they used to give you 2 stars for each type of production building around them. So basically, they have 3 levels, and you upgraded them by putting a sawmill, a forge, and a windmill next to them. The windmill next to them. And they give you 6 stars. They can give you 6 stars from that, and then whatever stars whatever level they are, the stars are doubled if you actually put them next to a port. Now, Shade markets would, in that way, produce like up to 12 stars each, which was very powerful, but only the super late game. But the problem is like they were only really useful in the super late game because in order to utilize them, you really needed first of all, obviously, they were only realistically good on water maps because like the port was weirdly like the most important building you needed to have next to them, right? So you needed to be on a water map, but then you also needed like obviously on the water map you'd obviously have well, back then it was just sailing. You needed obviously back then sailing, which you probably have on a water map, but then you also needed, I mean, obviously you needed jade, and then you needed to have like realistically at least two of the three like, and usually you wanted three, like all three of the like production techs. So you basically needed like four different tier 3 techs. So like something you could only realistically achieve if in the super late game or if you're I'm right. And so anyway, those they were just too clunky, and they reworked them, and now they just they just inherit levels next to the production. They just inherit the levels of production buildings next to them. So the way this market works now is I place it here, right? I have this immediate spot for the market, and this market is next to this windmill that has three levels, and this windmill that has three levels. So this market just immediately gets to level 6, which means he's making 6 stars per turn. And obviously, this market costs 5 stars to put down, and it's making 6 per turn. So this market's like mega value because this market realistically immediately makes me stars next turn, and it's obviously going to make me 6 extra stars for the rest of the game. This market here just now is making basically almost as many stars as my capital is, right? So yeah, markets can be powerful. They can give you still a lot of stars. Um, and now yeah, easier to set up. And obviously this is like the immediate spot here, but even this windmill here that I place, which is just tier 3, and there's only one windmill here, even this I'm not sure if I do put it immediately, but even this, like putting a market here to make 3 per turn, like mm, spending 5 stars in order to increase your star production by 3 is actually a really good deal. It still pays itself off in 2 turns, and like so obviously like after the 2 turns you've made back your stars, and then you just make 3 extra for the rest of the game. This video actually I feel like ends up being more of a showcase of markets. Now we're gonna go here, right? We're gonna continue the game a little bit. So right, I actually end up first putting right, and you can obviously put a market in each village, in each city. So this market actually belongs to this city. I actually put a market. I first decided to actually put a market over here in this city. Right, and that's 5 stars. And I really still have 30 stars now. I think I was hesitant to spam markets yet, because I still, was fighting Imperius, I was hesitant to spend a lot of stars on them, but I realistically, on this turn, should have just placed, obviously, got one here. I should have spent the rest of my stars placing a market here and placing a market here. Now, I also was thinking, I think a little bit later on, like, how, like, exactly where I'm gonna position, like, more markets, like thinking of the late game, right? And where I'm gonna be able to like get all the production houses and stuff. Because I end up going mathematics as well, because that also just like makes it really convenient for the market. That also makes it a lot easier for the markets. Take a look. Imperius is making 44,000 ton. They now have upgraded basically all of their cities, right? And they do have one more than me. Uh, before the end of before the end of this turn, I do have 60 stars this turn because I faulted a bunch last turn, but I was making 34 stars a turn, right? On the start of this turn, they're making like 42. Like they're almost making 10 stars more than me. At the start of turn 15, like Imperius was making like almost 10 more stars than me. At the end of this turn, I'm making 40, 41, no, 43, I guess. At the end of this turn, Imperius is making 44. So just by like placing these two markets, I've caught up to them in stars, right? Basically. Right. Now here, okay, this no, this one gives population. Oh yeah, this one gives a population, which sure is not a giant. Why not? And yeah, I even took mathematics here. More because obviously this was turning into the late game, and I wanted to get catapults. Oh yeah, because I saw Imperius was all stuck together, giants together, right? And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna need catapults, and so I go for mathematics. But the deal with this is that it honestly is just even now that windmills like even now that windmills you can actually burn the forest and turn it into farms, it's still better to actually have sawmills on top of that as well. More because like obviously like each village is capped to like having only one production house and only one market. So there is a lot of cases where you can actually by having both windmills and sawmills you can like naturally just get like you can naturally just like upgrade your markets way more efficiently than you can actually just like get more. I guess it's not technically correct to say that you can get bigger markets, but you can realistically get more markets. By having both a windmill and a sawmill being able to be placed in every city, you can actually get way more spots where you can actually like put a really good market at because you have more flexibility with production houses. It's not just like one single windmill and you're gonna turn everything next to it into farms. You actually have you can actually set to a sawmill and a windmill. And also, obviously, sawmills and the way sawmills work is way cheaper than windmills. And that ends up being just so much more like it's just so much cheaper to actually get a market as well, right? It ends up being so much cheaper to actually get a market when you're trying to utilize the forest tiles. Even when playing Zebasi, like village, like resource generation sometimes is like weird in this game. And like Zebasi, even though they're like the farming tribe, they do generate forests as well. And even with Zebasi, I think this is a good example. Like these villages here are a pretty good example. Both of these villages have more forests than farms, and by quite a lot too. It's like even Zebasi generates a lot of forests. It really felt this game. If I was actually to start trying to like burn forests into farms, it would have been so expensive to actually set up, especially if I'm in particular trying to use that in order to use it for a market. That yeah, like I ended up just going mathematics anyway, and that was like what allowed me to really snowball with the markets. I finally need to take organization on this tonight. Yeah, this is also like when I actually captured these villages. Let's take an explore here. Obviously, again, this is the thing I mean. I take an explore just even though it's in the city in the back just to get some vision on Imperius. Like in the meanwhile, this Imperius literally has not taken a single explorer. Like they really could have used it, but yeah. So anyway, I was sending catapults here now. To force like these giants back and stuff. So alright, I ended up putting a windmill here. And this is the first time I used sawmill. And I think it's because I'm close to a giant here. Not really, I need mining. Yeah, I just put I just really all I do here is I just place like spend 11 stars on the sawmill, which almost upgrades the city. That upgrades the market by 2 levels. And yeah, like I would not have been even though I have like a windmill, like I wouldn't have really been able to do that. I now do take mining just because I wanted to get an extra giant here, right? So that was what I was doing with this. Oh yeah, this here too. So I also did go for smithery as well at some point. But in here, I really, it's not like I play this for the forge. I just want to take border ground here. First, because I wanted to secure at least these two tiles here. These two tiles left the enclave territory. I wanted to secure them for road purposes, and I also wanted border ground because that actually allows me to do more market stuff. Because for these markets, you kind of do need some territory, and yeah. And yeah, so over here, I actually placed this sawmill, which first of all, obviously upgrades this market. It's gonna upgrade this city, gets population here. Like this Imperius, I think, was saving a bunch of stars from before. Hang on, no, I see a bunch of stars at some point. Right, and over here, well, they take free spirit, right? They're going for knights, because obviously they see me having catapults, they go knights. I mean, natural, natural human reaction. Right, now this, okay, this is I think that I'm gonna start popping off with these markets now. Already here, Imperius ends their turn. I guess I should look at the beginning. Imperius is now at 55 stars. Like, they have basically all the villages upgraded and stuff, right? They are also, they are using their construction, right? They did pick it for some reason. And they are using it, but, yeah, really not as effective. Well, it's really because they had it way later. Imperius is a somewhat decent player, but they're not clearly not the greatest. They actually still haven't like taken roads, which that is a pretty big mistake. They do eventually. I'm pretty sure they eventually take it when they get knights, but yeah, this empire still hasn't really taken roads, which not really normal. So they can't even really grow markets if they wanted to. Yeah, yeah. So this empire is was at like what 55 stars per turn. I'm now at 64. I do still have one less village than the right. Plus, I'm not even getting giant size. This village is This Imperius is focusing on upgrading their cities way more than me, and yet I am now like 10 stars ahead of them basically. This is the turn I really start actually doing a lot of things with markets. So first, I now put uh, number a sawmill here, which yeah, the city doesn't have another windmill. Take border growth, right? And this is where I start putting this here. So I now have in this city, I have this market spot, which is just as big as this one, right? Except I also put a windmill here, right? Then I also market here. I upgrade this for more border growth, obviously. This lumber hut upgrades both of these sawmills, so this lumber hut technically upgrades 3 markets. Alright. I get it as a farm because I just upgrade this village. And yeah, I also put, you know, I, I also do decide to, put the windmill here just for accommodation to finish off the city. And eventually this is gonna be a market spot as well. Now, this is the main term when I actually start popping off in this market. So I go from 65 stars to 82. Basically increasing star production by 20 stars, which is insane. It does cost me most of the stars on this turn in particular, which is 56. But I'm still like spending like 50 or so stars for 20 per turn. It's still like, it's still around the same level as efficiency as like 5 for 2, in fact better. So yeah, this is where this I think is the turn where I actually win the game. Now, obviously, this is the turn where I don't like siege Imperials. I don't like capture the capital. I don't like put the giant in like a position where the Imperials is fucked. But this is really the turn I win this game. Like you see from this point on, like Imperials, again, this guy does not really have vision on me. Now he sees that I have two. He has vision here. He sees I have these 2 markets, so he probably and he sees I have forestry too. He probably presumes I'm making lots of stuff, but he doesn't yet know like he doesn't have great vision on me. He can't yet like calculate like the amount of stars I'm making. But yeah, this is like he's already effectively lost. Again, he's also playing a bit like badly into these catapults. I feel like he's just moving his giants back, kind of like trying to like get instead of like trying to get his catapults in order to like push my giants back in order to yeah be able to like pressure my catapults. No, instead he's yeah I don't know. So yeah, he's basically just trying to go for knights here, and he does right. Over here is definitely like the where I'm the weakest because this is still I'm still kind of stretched out in this territory, and like I've gotten some catapults to just like throw at a giant if the giant decides to try and attack me. But for the most part, the rest of the defense here is rider spam, and that's obviously why he trains at night. The thing is, this Imperius also, by the way, basically his entire game, he has also been trying to. His defense has also mainly just been rider spam. That's what he's using to attack me here. So this Imperius is actually would die to the knight as well. At this point, I can definitely take chivalry as well. So this Imperius not having vision, it probably would die to a knight. But anyway, there is a way you take vision on your opponent. If I actually turn again thing on, oh yeah, I didn't realize it was on. Because yeah, I actually do have the explosive tech in this game. I do have vision on every single city in the PS's territory. That means he can't train a knight anywhere that he wouldn't be able to see it, right? So he cannot surprise me with chivalry. That is a very important thing sometimes in the late game, where like it doesn't matter. Like where you can 100% play in a way that you won't die to a knight, but you just do not know whether the opponent would have a knight or not because you can't see absolutely anywhere. And I thankfully can see anywhere, so even this city, all the way in the back, I can see it and I can see exactly that he has a knight here. It really just keeps. I over here realistically can kill him. This game from the start was actually just me trying to experiment with the tech changes, so I'm still just like mostly goofing around. And I'm just gonna keep spamming markets over here. I'm gonna play obviously in a way that I won't die to these knights, but when I'm not fully managed, I do give the knights some value, but yeah, I play in this very interesting way. And yeah, so I mean this is like okay, so this knight can like kill these 2 units. I don't care. But yeah, he can't really get to these 2 units in another way. He would need to actually kill both of these units with like riders, which I don't think he can. I don't think he physically can. Like he doesn't have enough riders that can reach here. But you need to get rid of both of these in order to like sneak the knight over here. Yeah, so anyway. I also do take symmetry at this point. Right, I break that with saying just I actually did not I actually did not take border road here because I don't need it. Because I'm gonna take it in this city. And yeah, mark it there and like he takes roads, finally. Yeah, I can't really like he goes with this value. I guess because I guess yeah that's what he I guess that was the reason he didn't have vision here again and thought there I guess just hope there may be another unit here in the chain. Yeah, no, not really. So I mean, he killed like two warriors and two riders. He didn't really care. Killed enough to get this guy to a veteran, but yeah, not much. Right, getting more knights here, but over here I'm having an even easier time preventing this from moving forward because I now have giants here and stuff. So not a problem at all. In fact, I rolled this guy there. I also end up going with free spirit. I mean, at this point, I'm basically making infinite stars to think, so it doesn't really matters. I mean, at the end of this game, I'm just like using all of just like going for market maxing. So yeah, really just this. Like all of, most of these border roads were specifically calculated to see like exactly in which city I could place which production house where in order to get like the market that next to like in order to like perfectly fit like the market. And that's honestly I probably didn't even like place it exactly perfectly. But yeah, but I'm now making 102 stars per turn. I'm just like I'm so much ahead of him, right? Right. I end up upgrading everything here, right? All of my cities. So yeah, he's now making 57 stars at the start of his turn. Go to 109 stars per turn, right? Making almost twice as much as him, right? I think over here though, I think at the end of this turn, I finally do just kind of yeah. I take chivalry. I replace my market. Actually, I think I did that towards the end of the turn. But I think this is the turn where I just start realistically just something again I actually could have done like quite a bit ago as well. I move these things, right? I reposition my market. I move these units so that they don't get night chain. But yeah, I rolled this series finally to just 'cause I got giants here now. And yeah, I just start pushing these giants forward, which realistically that's something I could have just done like a while ago at this point, because again, this Imperius doesn't have catapults or anything, so I can just do that. Um, and yeah, I just literally push all my giants forward, and that just seals the game. You can't actually do anything to them. I did not quite calculate this. Yeah, he can just shove two knights here, kill the swordsman, and that could just kill my knight too, which I was planning to actually use to chain stuff. But yeah, it's also okay. I have another knight in my territory, so I still managed to get it. Yeah, I chained the units here, like, which is weird because he for some reason, even these are even damaged at this point, and he for some reason still keeps like random 1 HP like riders in his territory, like even at this stage of the game, which is not really correct, but. I feel like at this point he must have realized that he was basically that he had basically lost, but you would almost think he hadn't. But I just giant, yeah, and there's the knight. There's my knight chain. Can't quite get this war here, but yeah, chains everything. In fact, because of this chain, I think yeah I siege like a lot of cities, and I actually don't think he even is able to unsiege any of them. And like this is the turn he resigns finally. Even though he had I feel like he must have known he'd already lost the game. Yeah, so okay, that's the thing. We do end up at 130 stars per turn, which is not bad. It's making 36 because it's making 36 because I'm sieging him. So yeah, and I actually think I'm pretty sure he can't siege any of these cities. And so that is, yeah, I'm gonna repeat kind of like what I already said as the TLDR. I'm not sure. I did not use the Burn Forest ability once. And okay, in a different game where you're not in a position, where you are in the position where you do go for markets and stuff with this construction, but you're not in a position to actually take the other techs. Maybe in the late game you do end up like burning forests, but that just feels so much less efficient than, especially because your strategy revolves around getting these things to, get you a lot of stars per turn. Definitely feels like you would get to the point where you can go for these decks and use them to actually get even more stars per turn. And so that's kind of the TLDR to me. Obviously, this strategy is actually really strong, so I can see why they've this. I can see that this as a change to making these 5 stars is like a good decision because if honestly, if Burn Forest was still like 2 stars, this I feel like actually would have been absolutely insane. Because yeah, like spending 2 extra stars to burn a forest into a farm is actually not that bad at all. That would actually be pretty efficient itself. Zebasi, I see that. Okay, I can see why they've done that change because Zebasi really may be like way too good at pumping out giants with uh, if Burn Forest was 2 stars. But I think I really don't like the fact that they've made it 5. Like 5 is just way beyond too much. 5 is like you actually will only use it in only the super late game, and even then, like, not in this late game. Even in this late game, it wasn't efficient, right? Obviously, the reason why I actually went mathematics in this game is also because I got forestry from a Ruben. With Zebas, you typically don't actually want to go forestry, so I can see where in positions where you would just want to burn a forest. I think that's my TLDR. I don't know how much stronger construction is, rather than how much stronger markets are paired with construction. Is I think my takeaway here. And I actually haven't tried. I do ought to try like playing some barter and trying to go for markets there. Anyway, now at the end of this video, I do generally want to address this is the first type of this video I have done on this channel, where I'm talking and like talking about games of Polytopia and stuff. And it's even actually the second game of Polytopia second video of Polytopia on the channel in general, which I have wanted to make Polytopia content for a really long time, but kind of been in a position where it's tricky to get time for that. And I also have planned on, in particular, making exactly these like talking videos where I actually want to discuss the games. I think I have a document saved of like, I think at this point is like probably like 50 different replays that I, well, okay, probably not 50, but like maybe 30 different replays that I've wanted to talk about for like the longest time, because I think most of them are just like very interesting games, or like something kind of crazy happens in them, and I've wanted to make videos on them for the longest time ever, and I don't know if I'll be able to really make that soon either. I don't know how my time management is gonna play into effect here. I don't even know when I'm actually gonna be able to release this. Because I have even tried to actually record another video, and I have even recorded it, but uh, in the editing process, kind of slowed down, and I also kind of decided that the whole video was kind of shit anyway, so I did not actually end up finishing it, even though I wasted a quite significant amount of time on it too. I do think this video I will actually manage to get out, and I do want to actually try and discuss like these like 30 different replays that I have like saved up. Some of them are like, I literally have replays I think saved up from a little bit before the naval update. So yeah, I also even have an idea for like making some sort of super, and I do mean super in-depth, like a type of guides on this game about like very specific stuff. And yeah, I have a lot of ideas about it too, and I really want to try and make something like that, but I think that would probably have to come a little bit later, like after after I have like tried to discuss some of the replays I have saved up for the longest time. I don't know how many videos of content they even are. A lot of them are replays of things that I've noticed happening, and they're basically multiple instances of set thing happening, and so it's not like all of these games are like games that I would actually want to make a separate video on. So it's not like I'm planning on making 30 videos. But I'm planning on making more. And or rather, I should say, I'm hoping to make more because I really don't know how I'm going to be able to do that. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this game. So yeah, I know no one really watches me either. So yeah, I guess maybe comment on if you'd actually like to see gameplay like this.